Last month, I asked you guys what your favorite good dragon was, and the results were predictable. But then I looked at Nahfahlaar and felt sad for the guy. This was the first dragon appearance in an Elder Scrolls game.
Unique to that at the time.
This was the dragon who chilled in a room of gold as Tiber Septim's mercenary, and pretty much the reason Hammerfell became part of the Empire. I get it, he's only seen in Redguard and ESO's Dragonguard. There's not a big reason to care about Nahfahlaar, but I want to change that. This is an ode to Nahfahlaar.
And the pleasantries begin.
Wait, but wasn't that Nahfaalilargus?
My name is Nahfaalilargus.
Alright, let's get this out of the way. There's a lot of hearsay around the community about this, but TLDR, his name was changed to Nahfahlaar to give him a more lore-friendly dragon name. What you might not know, though, is that it was probably Skyrim, not ESO devs, who made this change. Skyrim's Atlas of Dragons actually mentions a Nahfahlaar without mentioning the events of Redguard at all, but the name change was officially confirmed by ESO lore master when UESP just asked him. You might know that there's a cut line from Skyrim that mentions Nahfaalilargus, so maybe that line was just written before the team decided to take a hard stance on dragon naming conventions, and so they just cut it to avoid confusion. Maybe somehow the continuity check just didn't make it into the Atlas of Dragons book.
I so do love mortal fantasy.
So I don't know about you, but there's something already charming about Nahfahlaar having this weird name change, especially when we put the lore back in. I mean, Nahfaalilargus sounds like an imperialized Romanesque name, right? Might seem sus a race bent on domination would do that, but like he said himself,
I am Tiber Septim's proud soldier, loyal vassal.
Before he was Tiber Septim's loyal vassal, and even before the events of Elder Scrolls Online, Nahfahlaar was being hunted. The Dragonguard, that Akaviri dragon hunting order from the First Era, soon realized that he had an enemy, Latvulan. Nahfahlaar realized that the Dragonguard could help him defeat this sworn enemy and gang of other dragons. And just like that, Nahfahlaar discovered the power of friendship. He even gave his horn to his favorite Dragonguard, Ja'darri, that gave her the power to stun dragons from the sky, kind of like Dragonrend. But Nahfahlaar was still a dragon with a self-serving nature and refused to lend his power to Ja'darri's mask of Alkosh. Basically, it would have made her a superhero whenever they were together. Even though he really respected and trusted Ja'darri, I don't really blame him for the skepticism of mortals here, and they were still able to put Latvulan down, but what happened in that battle would change his life forever. Ja'darri was killed in action, and it broke him. So like every good child of Akatosh, dragons embody time, right? Eternity. Their personality is immortality. Their life is basically infinite unless another dragon blood consumes their soul. So if you are a dragon, that's going to make you value mortality less, right? Who cares that a little sacrifice of my power could have saved a mortal's life? But then you realize that you deeply respected that mortal to where they were more of a person to you. What happens to your values on mortality when you're now living with the regret of a person's life? Nahfahlaar does end up meeting with the spirit of Ja'darri later in life during ESO's Dragonguard, and something completely uncharacteristic of a dragon happens. He shows absolute remorse for her death.
Ja'darri,
Apologies never did suit you, Nahfahlaar. You are here now. That is all that matters.
Nahfahlaar knows that when he quote-unquote dies, resurrection from someone like Alduin is an option. But Ja'darri will never come back. Ja'darri will never again live the life that Nahfahlaar realized all too late how much he cared for. A life he regrets not sacrificing for. And so the centuries pass, and we return to a new Nahfahlaar. Familiar yet different. Powerful yet pragmatic. Immortal but not immune. Sitting in a treasury of his own earning, having just won Hammerfell for the Emperor. Do you have a memory playing Oblivion and learning about the Dragon Fires, the Amulet of Kings? These are icons of Akatosh because they represent the immortality of the Empire. When you think of the good dragons Skyrim gave us, Odahviing, Paarthurnax, Durnehviir, I think there's two major reasons they ally with mortals. The first is pretty obvious and one you've probably guessed by now. They respect the dragon bloodline. But second, there's that thing about keeping your enemies closer. Dragons can't fully die unless their soul is consumed by another dragon blood, like the last dragonborn, or Miraak with his buddies. So what better way to ensure your survival by allying the only thing that can kill you? Nahfahlaar was no different, but he served the dragonborn emperor, Tiber Septim, holder of the Dragonfire amulet. It's never really said in the games, but to me, this makes Nahfahlaar the ultimate child of Akatosh and just an impressive survivor. To me, ensuring Tiber Septim's success is Nahfahlaar just protecting the one symbol of immortality between Akatosh and mortals. The Amulet of Kings was lit to make the Empire everlasting, a type of everlasting that Nahfahlaar couldn't give to Ja'darri. So was Nahfahlaar helping Tiber Septim an act of Akatosh's will? Well, Nahfahlaar survived for a dragon for so long because he took this value of mortality with him. So I couldn't think of a more perfect dragon to secure Tiber Septim's empire. I think it was also a good match in other ways because by a dragon's domineering nature, Nahfahlaar's long game led Tiber Septim to dominate Tamriel. If domination is a dragon's ultimate desire, conquering mortals is something no dragon is able to do. Nahfahlaar succeeded where no other dragon could. Sitting in his fresh new lair, Stros M'Kai is a trophy he's claimed as home. It's filled with riches he's well earned, his loyalty to his dragonborn companion, and his hard-learned value of mortality stays with him even in his final moments. There's growth from guilt and remorse of a person's mortality. In his journey as a child of Akatosh, Stros M'Kai is probably a reminder of all of that. He's come a long way to get here, both inside and out. So perhaps it's equal parts heartbreaking and equal parts fitting that this would be his tomb. When he's slain by Cyrus, this is his legacy.